The IDF announced on Friday it recovered 2 hostage bodies inside Gaza, and while it's shifting gears for the next stage of the war. At the same time, France, the UK, and Germany began a process to reimpose snapback sanctions on Iran over its nuclear violations. Here's the latest on these and other stories.
President Trump held a policy meeting with Special Envoy Steve Witkoff, former British Prime Minister Tony Blair, and former advisor Jared Kushner on the situation in Gaza. Witkoff announced the meeting a day earlier, saying they were putting together a robust, comprehensive plan for the day after the war ends. But news reports say they discussed a variety of issues, including accelerating food deliveries and the hostage crisis. The Times of Israel quoted a White House official downplaying the meeting, saying, "The White House frequently holds policy meetings on a variety of issues, including Israel and Gaza." Also in Washington, Israeli Foreign Minister Gideon Sa'ar met with Secretary of State Marco Rubio on Wednesday discussing Iran, the war against Hamas in Gaza, and the upcoming UN General Assembly meeting. Later, Sa'ar wrote on X, "I thank Secretary Rubio for his hospitality in Washington, D.C., and his personal and unwavering support for Israel. We had a productive meeting on mutual challenges and interests for both our nations. Israel has no greater friend than the U.S., led by President Trump, and the U.S. has no greater ally than Israel." In Gaza, the IDF continues to facilitate the entry of hundreds of humanitarian aid trucks each day, as well as the entry of fuel tankers to supply UN humanitarian work. At the UN in New York, officials claim that Gazans are on the verge of starvation.
Over 500,000 people currently face starvation, destitution, and death. By the end of September, that number could exceed 640,000.
Israel's ambassador to the UN, Danny Danon, says the UN's focus is misplaced.
Instead of focusing your attention on the hostages or on the crimes of the Hamas terror organization, a campaign of diversion from these issues continues, an echo chamber that swaps facts for slogans.
Danon was accompanied at the UN by a hostage survivor.
It is an honor to stand here with Ilana Gochevsky. Ilana was dragged from her home in Roz with her partner, Matan Sangauker. She survived 55 days in captivity. Matan is still underground. Hamas has deprived him of everything: light, freedom, food, and dignity. Ilana is here today to speak for those who cannot.
I'm here not just for myself, but for every woman and man didn't make it home, for every voice which was ignored, for the 50 hostages still in Gaza, for their families. Matan, stay strong, don't lose hope.
Julie Stahl, CBN News, Jerusalem.
Ilan Weiss's body has been returned to Israel. The name of the other hostage has not yet been released, pending forensic examination. Weiss served as the deputy head of the emergency response team in Kibbutz Be'eri and kidnapped on October 7th. As the IDF continues its assault on the Hamas stronghold in Gaza City, it announced it's suspending midday tactical pauses for humanitarian aid there, calling it a dangerous combat zone. The pauses will continue in other parts of Gaza. On the international front, France, the UK, and Germany began a process on Thursday to reimpose snapback sanctions on Iran because of its nuclear violations. The three countries accuse Iran of violating the 2015 nuclear deal. The move starts a 30-day period of negotiations before the sanctions begin, which would affect banking, travel, arms sales, and Iran's ballistic missile program. Iran said it's ready to resume fair negotiations, but also threatened to retaliate.
We have told them if this happens, the pathway we have opened with the IAEA will be completely affected and will likely be stopped.
The announcement dropped Iran's currency to a near record low.
The rising dollar rate is having a serious impact on our lives as young people. Given the current state of the job market and overall livelihoods, our hopes have taken a hit.
U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio backed the move and urged Iran to resolve the issue. In Yemen, media reports indicate that an Israeli strike on Thursday killed the Houthis' prime minister. A separate attack reportedly targeted at least 10 senior Houthi ministers. The Israeli operation follows weeks of ballistic missile attacks by the Houthis that sent millions of Israelis to bomb shelters. In Jerusalem, U.S. Senator Lindsey Graham met with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and the head of the World Food Program, Cindy McCain.
There was an honest exchange between the World Food Program and COVAC and the IDF about what we can do together to improve delivery of food that goes to the Palestinian people, not to Hamas, as to the idea that Israel has tried to starve the people in Gaza as a tool of war. I firmly and completely reject that.
The IDF announced the construction of more distribution centers inside Gaza.
This is just a part of the humanitarian effort the IDF and Israel are doing in the Gaza Strip. Airdrops, trucks going into different parts of Gaza, and distribution centers. We have said multiple times, there's no limit on the amount of aid that can go into Gaza.